He appeared for the first time back in the 1975 comic book titled Werewolf by Night, and the only thing he has in common with today's version of Moon Knight is the white cloak. So here's how Marc Spector will be stirring up things in the MCU. Don't swipe or click away because here is how Moon Knight is about to change everything. First of all, for all of you thinking this is just a white Batman, you're probably right. But listen, it's not as simple as you might think. Does Batman have superhuman abilities handed over to him by an Egyptian god? Didn't think so. Well, Marc Spector has exactly this. The origin story of this superhero begins when Marc Spector, a mercenary with years of military experience, started aligning himself with a man that goes by the name of Bushman. At first, everything was going fine, but during one mission, Marc attacked his supposed ally. This happened when the man decided to kill two archaeologists, a father and a daughter. At that point, Spector turned on Bushman. Marlene managed to survive thanks to Marc, but her father didn't have the same luck. To teach him a lesson, left Marc for dead in the desert under the scorching heat. But as luck would have it, he woke up and slowly clawed his way to an Egyptian tomb of the god Khonshu. There he died and was later reborn. The reason for this was the god which we just mentioned, also known as the Taker of Vengeance. What happened next? Well, as the name of the god suggests, Marc got his revenge on Bushman. He now had superpowers and he had a godlike body that helped him defeat his enemies with ease. Since he was already rich, he used this wealth to build a persona for himself known as Moon Knight, a Caped Crusader dressed in all-white clothing and a hooded cape, his iconic sigh, a crescent moon-shaped boomerang that could smash that like button just like you should do if you haven't done so already. But no, in all seriousness, the blade can actually cut through his opponents. Yeah, this is where the differences with Batman end. Oh, and we almost forgot that Marc is suffering from dissociative identity disorder. He has created multiple personalities inside his head. One of them was a boy by the name of Stephen Grant, and then a second character called Jake Lockley. When he made a third character, his mother put him in a Putnam psychiatric hospital. He managed to escape from there when he was released to attend his father's funeral. And since then, he has been walking on the line of good and evil. If we look at the trailer for the show, we'll see that Moon Knight is pounding someone seemingly to death as the camera draws closer and closer to his white cape. Based on the narration of the main actor, we can see that Moon Knight is having trouble telling the difference between his dreams and reality. And of course, he then mentioned the voice inside his head, which further proves that Moon Knight is gonna have the same dissociative identity disorder he had in the comics. And then the camera showed us Marc in the middle of the street with four guys on the ground. Judging from his facial expression, we're gonna say that he had just woken up from one of his dream sequences. And this opens up the flood doors for an even wilder show. Why? Because this means that Moon Knight will be an anti-hero. He'll be a good guy that cannot control his dreams, so while he's sleeping, he turns into the bad guy. This means that the creators of Moon Knight won't have to include a villain in their new series. Since Marc is gonna be a bad guy and a good guy at the same time, maybe the fight will be a psychological one where the powerful hero tries to control his demons and inflict as little damage to others around him as possible. But then again, Esquire magazine just stated that this show might be the darkest one made by the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So now that we have your attention, let's get serious and talk about the details that you really want to know, like the release date.
But will it work?
You won't know till you try. The rest of us will hold off the symbiotes.
And you know what? After all of this waiting, it's really nice to see MCU and Disney Plus taking their production process very seriously. The project started about 10 years ago when Joe Carnahan, a director, pitched Taskmaster. The movie was centered around the character of Marc, but nothing came from this plan. And then, back when Daredevil and Punisher announced their release date, fans thought that this would mean Moon Knight was in that batch as well. But we all know that Daredevil and Punisher started and finished while Moon Knight wasn't even a thing. And of course, the most interesting story we have to tell you about the show is that James Gunn, the author of Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad, actually pitched a script for Moon Knight. And now we have a show that's already shooting, so again, when's the release date? To answer that, we'll have to turn to Twitter. One fan posted a photo on his account which showed the Museum of Fine Arts in Budapest that showcases a lot of cranes and props in front of the museum. After a little snooping around, it's been confirmed that they've actually been taping the show there for several days. And if this is true, then we should inform you that the taping of the show started back in April of 2014. So far, they've had a lot of time to tape the first 6 episodes. Yes, the first season will have only 6 episodes, and if everything goes according to plan like it currently is, then we shouldn't be expecting the show to air in the first half of 2022. Fingers crossed it's January, but where can you watch it? Since the teaser trailer for this new and upcoming show was featured on Disney Plus Day, the show is gonna air on Disney Plus. Oh, and please don't confuse the current costume of Moon Knight with the photo that was circulating online back in the middle of August. Since then, we know that Oscar Isaac is going to be playing Moon Knight, and it turns out that our previous prediction was incorrect. Moon Knight will have a main villain after all, but maybe they'll make that villain the voice inside his head that's pushing him to do evil deeds. Still, information is sparse on the subject, but what we do know is that Ethan Hawke will be taking on the role of villain.
That costume! It's Moon Knight's. I've heard all about him.
How do we know this? Well, it's because we know that Ethan Hawke drew inspiration for his role from the cult leader David Koresh. Being inspired by any cult leader means that he's not playing a hero role in the series. Another actress that's going to be part of the cast according to IMDb is May Calamawy, but just like Ethan, we don't know the role she'll be playing. We do know that Gaspard Ulliel will be taking on the famous role of Anton Mogart for all of the 6 episodes. Speaking of the 6 episodes, we know that the director of Moon Knight is gonna be Mohammed Diab. Since he's Egyptian, the show will have quite a few Egyptian elements and iconography on the show. First of all, it's appropriate for the story, and second, it's great to see part of Egyptian heritage and culture be represented in a major Marvel movie. Since Moon Knight is closely tied to the Egyptian god Khonshu, seeing some elements of Egyptian culture will make this show even more popular.
You're Moon Knight! Or I could be wrong?
One more word about Moon Knight, and our deal is off.
Why does this change a lot for the MCU? Well, first of all, Moon Knight is not only a badass fighter that can take on almost anyone. It's interesting because in the comics, Moon Knight was portrayed alongside Spider-Man and even became part of the Avengers. So this could mean that Moon Knight will join the Avengers in the MCU.
What are you doing here? Someone told me you were just a myth.
I could leave.
Nope, I love myths!
On a related note, do you think that Oscar Isaac will be capable of portraying such a psychologically complex character in the show? You can tell us in the comment section below. If you'd like to see more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.